Tone.
Hi guys, hello and welcome to another video by Are We There? Oh, sorry. Hello and welcome to another video from the war on China. No, today I'm joined once more with the creator of this show, Mr. Mario Cavolo y Yang. How are you doing, man? How are you tonight?
Fernando, I'm very, very excited to be on the show with you this evening. This is a special edition. We decided to do it up very, very quickly because it
Mm.
seems the war on China has a new and unexpected ally, a very, very public and powerful guy. We're going to talk all about it. It's a very serious thing, man. It's a very serious thing.
Yeah, basically, you guys know that these shows are quite spontaneous. They come up whenever we see something that we want to talk about. So we just get on the phone and say, Mario, let's do this. Fernando, let's do that, and boom, we just set it up. So today we just saw what Tucker Carlson did just the other day. He has done a couple of things over the last couple of months that we will probably talk about. But the first thing that I would like to do is to invite every one of you guys to like and share these videos. You know that it does help with our channels. So make sure to do that right now. We have about 15 people watching right now. We're gonna wait for more people to join us, and then we start with your initial thoughts on what we want to discuss. This new WuMao that has joined the club. So Mario, what have you been up to these days before we jump into it?
Wow, been up to these days has been a fantastic 2 weeks. All over the world, not just in China, all over the world, people have not been traveling, and that includes
Mm.
us. And we really hadn't gone any major trips or holidays for over 2 years. And I finally had the opportunity to mix some business and pleasure and end up in a long, wonderful vacation in what the first city, Chongqing, that I came to in China 23 years ago. I just spent 2 weeks there.
Mm.
It was at the courtesy of Chongqing Media, Chongqing News Agencies, Chongqing, who invited me to come. And what's the purpose? What's the point? What's the goal? To, to, to share and promote the best of Chongqing. And I hadn't been there spending time extensively for over 20 years since I'd originally been there in 1999. Yeah, man, there's some serious, amazing things to share and promote about Chongqing. What an incredible city. We had a great time. And for the first time, I spent a week with the Chongqing
Mm.
team. Hats off to all of them. What a great, great group, starting with Alex and Hu Peng and Catherine, who arranged everything. It was amazing. And then the pièce de résistance. Can you imagine this, Fernando? After 23 years of living in China, I had not yet ever taken a Yangtze River cruise. And I mean, that's crazy. Have you ever been on one?
Yes, but different parts of the Yangtze, not exactly in Chongqing.
No. Did you do the Yangtze River cruise on, one of those river cruise ships? It's at least 3 nights, or it's either 3 nights or 7 nights
I
from Chongqing down to the Three River Gorges
Yes, I
Dam.
have.
Have you done that? Oh yeah, man,
Oh
it's
no, no, no.
incredible.
I did like a 1 day.
Nah, nah, that's what
Mm,
I'm saying. We did the
no,
deal,
no, no,
man. We
not
did
that
the
one.
deal. We went from Chongqing 3 nights, 4 days, three
Uh,
nights,
oh,
down to the Three Rivers, down to the Three Rivers Gorge, Three Gorges Dam, and wow, that was spectacular. I mean, incredible. It took me that many years to finally do it. So lately, that's the kind of thing that's been going on. Just enjoying the summer. It's been a wonderful, amazing time. How about you? You're popping around in your RV, man. I know you're doing it. What's going on? You were in Qingdao for a while. Now you're up in Jilin. Tell me more. Tell everybody a little more about what you've been doing. Ah, we lost Fernando on the signal there for a bit, and that's all right. So I know he was based in Qingdao, living at the beach for a while. If you don't know this, folks, Fernando is uh, on a journey across China in an RV. He and his wife and his pets are in an RV traveling all around China. Um, and Something about needing to wait for the RV license or something, whatever it was. He was 3 weeks living on the beach in Qingdao. And then I know now more recently, he had just recently gone up to Jilin. I believe he's doing a project with
Sorry,
Xinhua
guys.
Xinhua
Yes.
News. I'm telling everybody it's okay. You're back. I believe he's up there in Jilin now doing a project with Xinhua News, and that's what I
Yeah.
was just telling everybody a little bit about what you were doing. And then, are you
Well,
back now? Are you good?
Summers. I'm good. I just swapped to my phone's Wi-Fi because the hotel Wi-Fi is not that good. Yes, I'm here in the capital of Jilin, and we are basically doing some very interesting work about Chinese democracy. We're talking about Chinese democracy with the people that matter in democracy, those who are
No,
elected and those who are ruled by set democracy. So don't let anybody tell you that there's no democracy
no,
in China. Keep your eyes open because
no,
that's going to be coming in October. Wonderful, wonderful experience.
no,
A lot of authenticity in the content, in the terms that I'm the one who's choosing who we talk to. Uh,
no,
completely not
man.
staged. So yeah,
Are
keep an eye on
you
that.
trying? Are you? Man, come on, Fernando. Are you trying to imply that the Chinese government is like actually like efficient and actually doing a good job and doing it what it's supposed to be doing? Nah, come on. Really?
All right, look, we've got about 55 people watching, so please, everybody, make sure to hit the like button and let's jump right now into the topic. We're into 6 minutes. So we're going to be talking about Tucker Carlson. So I'll leave it up to you, Marty, to bring us into
Yes.
what took place. This new WuMao that's come into the scene. Let me put you a little bit wider, and we go from there.
Yeah,
Floor is yours.
thank you very much. Thank you very much. You know, uh, I like to sleep at night, folks. The reason I like to sleep at night is when I have a clear conscience. I can sleep at night, and I can sleep at night because I know that I'm speaking with awareness, and I'm speaking with intelligence, and I'm speaking the truth about things. Okay. Um, Whether you're an author or a businessman or whatever it might be, I hope you don't say anything because you're paid to say it. I hope you say things because you want to speak with awareness and intelligence and speak truth. And that's what I do about China all the time. That's what Fernando does. That's what we all do. It's just real life and reality about the world, good and bad, that we want to bring to you and share with you. I've lived here for 23 years. I'm qualified in a lot of ways to say that I pretty much, well, as much as any foreigner could be, I'm real familiar with what's going on here in this country from the uh, countryside, sitting around with a bunch of local country people, all the way on up to addressing top government officials at the Center for China and Globalization annual conferences, from the bottom all the way to the top. I've been there. I've hobnobbed all the way through the society, from the bottom up to the top, as they say, all through the structures and layers. And so I'm just familiar with it. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say I'm an expert on it. I'm just going to say that I'm very, very familiar. So when someone says to me something about China, I go, no, 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 no. I've experienced that, and what you're saying, no, that's not what's going on, right? So uh, the issue is that in the West, there is an horrifying anti-China propaganda campaign going on. It actually, the red peril, yellow peril campaign has actually been going on since 1950, post World War II, when MacArthur, in the Korean War, General MacArthur declared, "We got to destroy the Chinese once for all." Now, I would know that very, very well because I was asked to play General MacArthur in the CCTV primetime crossing the Yalu River, and I had to research the role. And I learned the details about what the Korean War was really all about that I previously was unaware of. And it was just, red peril, yellow peril, McCarthyism, communism is bad. Well, it may be true communism is bad, but since China's not a communist country, that doesn't matter. We don't even need to have that conversation. It's like, okay, right? So I'm right or wrong, Fernando. So I
You're
want to get
absolutely
to
right.
the reality. Yeah, so let me get to the reality here. We have to talk about and call out in a very professional and proper and friendly way, and thank, as we are calling out, Tucker Carlson for what he recently aired on his show. Because Tucker Carlson did something, and whether he needed to do it or had to do it or was required by his contract, his bosses told him to do it, or the CIA told him to do it, because the CIA runs the Western media. Maybe that's true too. I don't know why Tucker Carlson did it. I'm not going to pretend to know why. He just may have done it because he wanted to release his conscience and just finally tell the truth about China, because it was obvious and it can't be avoided anymore. Because if you're someone speaking with awareness and intelligence and speaking the truth, okay, this is the thing about this political media guys like Tucker Carlson, okay? Here's before I go into what he said and the incredible importance of what he said, which a pivotal moment it could be a pivotal moment in mainstream media and political and U.S.-China relations. Okay, and I'm giving the guy a lot of credit because he is in a pivotal position, whether you like him or hate him or not. And I want to cover this before I get into what he said. Folks, I do my best to be neutral. Now, I have and be an observer. So like as a researcher, as a writer, as an author, I just want to sit back, interview, research, and report on or write down what I've observed without saying I like it or I don't like it. Now, I have my biases. Hey, I'm 62 years old. I'm an Italian American. I was born and raised Catholic. I'm not an active Catholic, but I'm faithful in God, and I have more conservative values. And I happen to think that most of the neoliberal crap that's happening in the United States is crap. It's cancer that has destroyed the society. So, and it has destroyed the society. Look at the society. Okay, it's not my opinion, right? So there's my bias. Yes, I'm mostly a conservative guy, and I live my life from the frame of I'm devoted to my wife and my son, and the care and well-being of my wife and my son and my marriage is what matters. Hey, there's my bias. That's Mario's biases. But that's as far as it goes. When it comes to politics, okay, so he's on the right. Well, no, some liberal stuff I agree with. Some conservative stuff I agree with. Okay, and this is what you got to understand about these political people like Tucker. Okay, whether it's Tucker and Hannity and Judge Jeanine on the right, or what's his name, Brian Stelter and Don Lemon, and these other guys on the left, Joe and what's his wife, what's her name? Okay, whoever they are, it doesn't matter. Sometimes they all say the truth. Sometimes they say what's right. Sometimes they're right about what they're saying.
Sometimes it slips out.
So that's not my concern. My concern is when they're spouting crap. Okay. And in the case of both sides, and in the case of the United States, they spew anti-China propaganda to the degree of venom. Okay, and to give you a quick refresher of where this came from, it was existing before. Like I said, it goes back 70 years to the Korean War. China bad, West good. Communism bad, democracy good. China oppression, democracy, America freedom. And it's just nonsense. Okay, it's nonsense. But that's a longer story for another day. Okay, most recently, for the reminder that you all need, the pivotal moment came to a egregious anti-China propaganda narrative on March 15th. I'll never forget it because it was like flipping an egg in a frying pan. It was boom. There it was, March 15th, where all of a sudden the Trump administration, the State Department, the press lady, whoever I think it was Kellyanne Conway at the time, the press person for the press conferences, and Fox News, Tucker, Hannity, Jeanine, all of them at the same time, all of a sudden went from the January-February period where, wow, she has been cooperating amazingly and they've done a great job over there of controlling the virus, to they're the enemy, they caused the China virus, and they are the monster of the world. Now, that's what happened on March 15th, literally in 24 hours. They flipped the public PR messaging. And if you also don't remember why, it was because the Republican election committee of like 30 people had written a 60-page report to Donald Trump telling him how to get reelected. And they told him that that strategy was the way he needed to get reelected. You need to blame and vilify China. That's your number one road to getting reelected. So, hey, to hell with the truth. I want to get reelected. It's worth it to lie, you know? So that's what it was all about, and that's what happened. But I've given you the background now, and I want to fast forward and go to the reality of it all. I think we're all going to agree, and here we get to it now. We're all going to agree. I'm going to extend and take a little bit of liberty here when I say to all of you that in the United States of America and in China, that the major social media of those countries are an accurate reflection, good and bad, of those societies. So you say, hey, you want to get a sense of if you're, let's say you're from another country. I've got friends from Serbia here, wonderful friends from Serbia here. Let's say you're from Serbia, or like Fernando, you're from Colombia, or you're from, I don't know, pick another country, France, and you don't know anything about America, and you want to know all about that culture and society. So you pop on to Facebook, you pop on to YouTube, you pop on to Instagram, and you pop on to Twitter. And good and bad, you're going to get a sense of what America's like from their social media. It's a reflection of the society, right?
Yep.
Nobody can disagree with this thesis that I'm saying. So Tucker Carlson figured that out about China. He figured it out. The same is true in China. In China, you got Weibo, Bilibili, Toutiao, Kuaishou, Weixin, which is WeChat, and Douyin. And Tucker was talking about Douyin. Douyin is the sister name of the exact app in America called TikTok. And Tucker Carlson did a piece on the state of America and the state of China based on what he saw in social media. What he said was, so what do we see in TikTok, which is, by the way, originated from China, but is entirely United States owned and operated, okay? And TikTok, when you go on TikTok, you find content that does what? Drives, in his words, quoting, drives social chaos. Okay, but when you go to TikTok's in China, which is Douyin, you find content that is wholesome and affirming,
educational.
Right. So what am I? I'm sitting here going, whoa, this is like Tucker Carlson admitting the reality. Okay, so I'm taking the liberty to take it one step further and to say to Tucker Carlson, with thanks, that he's got to stay with it. He opened the Pandora's box. He opened the door. He's done it a couple times before, but this time he really opened the door. Okay, it's absolutely the case that social media and what you see on social media, you look at all the variety from all the worst, weirdest, dumbest stuff to the best, most wonderful stuff, content on social media, and it's an accurate reflection of the society. And Tucker nailed it. He hit the nail on the head. He admitted it. Can't be denied. Okay, folks, there is no lewd, crazy crap on social media, very little in social media in China. It's absolutely true because they don't allow it. You want to call that censorship? I call it running a country for the best of the society and the stability and the people. I'm glad there's no lunatic, crazy shit on social media in China. Okay, I live here. I have a 12-year-old boy, a 10-year-old boy. I have a mother-in-law who, and they need to be able to be safe out on the street. Okay, so this, now I sound like the conservative guy, right? Okay, this is the point. This is precisely and exactly the point, because, and I'm jumping to my notes here because I'm excited, but I don't want to forget. I don't want to forget what I want to say here. All right, China's social media, according to Tucker Carlson, is wholesome and affirming. And I'm saying to you, I'm going to take the liberty of extending that to make him understand, help him to realize what he said. That's Chinese society is wholesome and understanding. And boom, I'm back to the track of what I want to say to you. If Chinese society is wholesome and affirming, ladies and gentlemen, the government is in a huge way responsible. This is undeniable as well. So how can you say that the government that creates the rules and the laws and the mores and the structure and that demands of society and of the people. That's what's created this structure that Tucker Carlson is suddenly looking at and going, holy guacamole. Chinese society is wholesome and affirming. How do I know that? Well, I could see it on TikTok. How can the Chinese government be bad, Tucker? How can they be a bunch of evil, authoritarian, thought controlling, oppressing maniacs if you're seeing on social media that the society, that this wholesome and affirming society? See, Tucker, thank you. You've shown the world, you said it, that you can't have it both ways. And Fernando and I here, we're on this show tonight. I'm saying this to you as a senior fellow with the Center for China and Globalization. I'm saying this to you as a dad with a family living in China for 23 years. And I'm saying this to you, Fernando, the same way. He's a distinguished citizen for in Guangzhou for contribution to the society. I'm saying these things to you as a family man. Tucker, you know what I know? You bring your family to China and you hang out for a while, and the Trump family and the Bush family, or is it the Biden family, and all their kids are learning what language? What language? What language?
Mandarin.
What language? Mandarin, not Spanish, Mandarin. Okay? And along with Jim Rogers and his kids in Singapore. Okay? And my kid who's learning Chinese first. This is the reality. This is the truth. This is the future. You come for a visit. Come for a visit. You come with your family and you stay and you look and you watch and you hang out and you see the real world of China, not just what you're seeing on TikTok. It's the same. I've been saying it for months now. I came up with the famous statement that a lot of people want to say I'm crazy. China is the largest, safe, stable, successful, capable, civil country on the planet, ladies and gentlemen. And Tucker Carlson just said, wow, that guy Mario, oh man, he might be right. He might be right because he sees in Chinese TikTok, which is Douyin, that the society and the content there, which is put up by who? The society, which is guided by who? The government, is wholesome and affirming, safe, stable, secure society. That's what we have, ladies and gentlemen. And now I'm going to
Yep.
stop right there and I'm going to go on, Fernando, or I'm going to bring back to you, and then we're going to talk about the specifics, right? The library, the books, the internet. I mean,
Look,
let's talk about the proofs. The
Tucker
proofs
Carlson, Tucker
that
Carlson
back what we're
has
saying.
been
Okay.
Tucker Carlson has slowly been showing people the truth by asking questions that make you wonder, okay, is everything that we hear about China true? The first piece that he did, the one that I remember, was the one about housing. He was talking about the homelessness situation in America, where there are
Right.
millions of people living in the streets. When you go to San Francisco, when you go to Los Angeles, and there's 17 million houses that are available, or apartments or housing solutions that are available, but there are homeless people. And he actually quoted Xi Jinping in his show when he said, houses are for living. So that's what he meant when he was dealing with the whole Evergrande situation and all the speculation. The government in China, what they do is they control corporations and they don't let them do whatever the capitalist
No.
spirit is. They control them and
Right.
they allow them to be billionaires and to be multinationals and to do business all over the world, but you will not sacrifice the well-being of people. That is the matter here. We are talking about the well-being of people. You talk about, oh, freedom of expression, freedom of speech. Well, when you
No.
have terrorists communicating their ideas about wanting to go out and mass shoot people on Facebook and on social media, and first of all, nobody pays attention to that, and second of all, how is that allowed? How is that? Do you know what I mean? The platforms have so much freedom. There's no limits to what people can do. And when you don't have limits, then people are going to cross barriers, going to cross boundaries, and you end up
And
with
and
terrible.
and
Yes?
and and
Yep.
in doing so, take away everybody else's freedom. That's the damn
Yes.
point. That's the point.
Yeah.
Continue.
The other thing that this is basically what we wanted to talk about, because this is what Tucker was showing in his video, is the decadence that is on display on social media in Western countries, in TikTok in the USA. For
Teenage
example,
American girls.
you
Teenage
you have
American
teenage
girls. What
American
is
girls
going on? If
doing
I was a
doing
parent, I'd be like, what?
do you want your daughter to be streaming in a tiny bikini and see-through stuff doing overly sexualized things? There are children, they're minors,
Underage. Underage.
underage, but it's not full nudity and it's not a direct act, so it's okay. So how do you justify that to your church, to your priest, to your whatever religion you practice? How do you justify to your father, to your mother, to your grandparents, when celebrities have gotten to the point where you become a celebrity by having a tape of you having intercourse with somebody like the Kardashians, and that is glorified, that is deified. They become idols and people that, oh, she made it. Look how they made it. The values of society begin to degrade when you don't care, when you don't straighten things up. Let me explain. In China, there was a ban on female live streamers using bananas. And people were like, oh, look at China, authoritative. Look at that, dictatorship. You cannot have a banana on screen. You can have a banana on screen as much as you freaking want. You cannot practice fellatio on a banana on screen. That's that simple. So,
Fernando.
yes,
Fernando.
yes,
Fernando. Right.
tell me.
So I got to be more specific about it because I'm sticking. I'm just adding to where you're at. Keep where you are, but I got to add to it. Right. I mean, you look at the households. You look at the parents who are supposed to work together with the society, and that means the school system. The very first place that the parents interface in the society with other authorities to guide their children would be the school system, correct? Okay,
Yep.
caretakers, school system. And the school system, then from there, then you've got the city. There's the rules, the general rules of the society. Now, you're a parent, okay? Look, I've got a 10-year-old boy, okay? Now, I can imagine instead that if I had, say, a 10-year-old girl, okay, and then if she was 16 years old, and I find out, as I'm the father, and I find out that my daughter is a 16-year-old girl making fun videos on TikTok, and she's acting like she's sucking a guy, she's using a banana, and and my daughter's doing that, I'd ground her for a month. I mean, I would punish her. I would, excuse me, I'd be ashamed of her acting that way. Now, what parent, what father doesn't agree with that and doesn't think that? If you don't agree with that and don't think that, we don't have a conversation because you're in a
Sorry, I
place
need
that
to
I
show
can
you. I need to show you this. Okay,
never even
this is
begin to
part.
imagine.
These are minors on TikTok. Okay,
Right,
these are minors
minors. This is the
doing
point. They're minors.
sexualized dances. Because somebody was commenting right now. Oh, I don't think that that's an issue. This is the clean part of these so-called challenges where they do overly sexualized things. These are for. I don't know how old this girl is, but she's not an adult. For
So the
sure, she's not an
society
adult.
doesn't allow it. The society is in sync with the parents. The society says, no, we don't allow this. We don't allow porn. We don't allow minor kids to act sexual in public, which is video. We, the society, we, the parents, certainly don't want our children acting that way. And we have a government which has rules and laws exactly in sync with that set of values. Okay. Now, in the West, Fernando, it happens to be based primarily on, you don't need to be religious to understand the concept of the Judeo-Christian ethics, right? It's just a moral, ethical system, which in general is based on, in the West, Europe and America, and South America, the Judeo-Christian ethics without being religious. You don't have to have a religion, but that's that framework of what morality is required, needed, essential in a decent society. In China, It's not the Judeo-Christian ethic. It's Confucianism as the core, the six principles of Confucianism, which is to pursue virtuous, to act in a virtuous manner, to have filial piety and respect, to take care of your parents, your family. Sounds like the Ten Commandments, right? And that's it. It's very simple, but they're very similar, to be frank with you. Again, we're not talking about religion, and we're sure as hell not talking about politics. We're not talking about political parties. This has nothing to do with being a Democrat or a Republican or a communist or a socialist. None of those things. We're just talking about societal frameworks for decency and decent behavior. That's all we're talking about. Go ahead.
Yeah, and what we wanted to drive today, the message that we wanted to drive is the situation that Tucker Carlson has put himself in, and what I hope that we can actually run with. The fact that
Tucker.
you cannot have, yeah, Tucker Carlson, you cannot have a wholesome and well balanced and respectful social media, and at the same time having an oppressing, authoritative, and destructive
Yeah,
government. That
right.
doesn't add up. It's either one or the other. So once he set this fact that the internet in China is protected and the values of the Chinese people are protected in some way of a paternalistic way, but in a way that it aligns with the values and the the decency of society,
Correct.
then you can't go back.
Correct.
What kind of government
Correct.
does that? A horrible
Correct.
government?
Correct.
What I mean, I just want to draw your attention to one more thing. We just celebrated um, um, the gay parades all over the world, and I remember watching men
LGBTQ.
LGBTQ parades, just adults walking around naked on the streets of major Western cities in front of children. Let me be very clear. I have absolutely nothing against LGBTQ people. You're free to do whatever you want. I am straight. But is that even legal? Is it only legal on that day? What if you were to walk around, I don't know, Quebec, Montreal,
No,
absolutely naked
Fernando,
any given day? You would probably sent to prison. But on
in
that day,
America, Fernando, you're not
yep,
allowed to change your baby's, and maybe this is an extreme example, but you're not supposed to change your baby's diapers in public,
yeah.
you know?
So that's
Go in a
that's what
private
I'm
room and
getting.
change your baby. Do it in private. Do it in private. I mean, these are rules, laws, and mores that exist for a reason. Now, if you think they're a bit unreasonable or a little bit too strict or conservative, fine, fine. Then it's okay. Then you can be given a little bit of leeway. But that's not what this is about today. This
So
about
the
today is the overall society, and we know what we're talking about. And this is what Tucker acknowledged, and the government is responsible, and he has to acknowledge that too.
John Lee, thank you very much for your super sticker, guys. All your love and support is very much appreciated
Yeah,
in any form.
thank you.
Likes, comments, shares, and well, super stickers. That's also very much appreciated. So, guys, we wanted to point your eyes in the direction of that particular video on Tucker, and we wanted you to ask you to send that message out because China cannot be this horrible, monstrous regime, authoritative
No,
and dictatorship
not
and
possible.
horrible, and at the same time having a social media that is wholesome
That's right.
and beautiful and artistic and intelligent and stimulating learning and growth and compassion and all these things that we see on social media here in China every single day. It cannot be. At the same time,
And
he is making a very important point about the decadence of the United States. And you know what they say about empires? When the decadence is there, when the rot starts to smell, that's just right before they collapse. Mario, any final thoughts? And then I'll give you my final announcement for what's coming up on my channel. So, Mario, go ahead.
good. Yeah, thank you, Fernando. So, last thoughts is again the final proofs that you'll find in the society here that clarify and explain what it means when the West tries to tell you, well, China censors and controls too much, and they do it to engage thought control and oppression of its citizens. No, no, they do a lot more censorship and control here. Actually, not much different than what used to be in back in the '60s in the United States when decency existed before the neoliberal age, before the age of neoliberal cancer, which now exists in the United States, which has ruined the place. Okay, um, so actually, it's not that bad, right? And that censorship and control, yeah, Mr. Ma is not denying that it exists. We're talking about the fact that it does exist. And the result of it is that social media in China is wholesome and affirming, and yours isn't, right? So, I mean, there's the answer, right? So, the censorship and control exists. I'm not saying that it doesn't. I'm saying I'm glad that it does. And the proof, though, is in the clarification. It's not the government censoring and controlling to thought control and oppress its citizens. It's the government censoring and controlling to keep the Western neoliberal crap out of this country, to keep this country safe and stable, to keep this society safe and stable and not let it become the lunatic place that the United States has become by Western neoliberal democratic values. It's to protect its citizens, not to thought control them, not to oppress them. It's to protect them and to take care of them. And the proof is in the library. Okay, people say, oh, the books in China are censored. Okay, well, the Chinese government will publish your Western book, but they make you censor certain things out. Yeah, they make you censor out the lies about China. My book contains information about Tiananmen Square, and if I want to publish it in China, the part about the Tiananmen Square massacre can't be in the book. Well, that's because there was no Tiananmen Square massacre. It's a lie. And the Chinese government knows that. That's why they won't let you print a lie in the book in China about China. Okay, so do you understand what I'm telling you? All right.
Mm,
And then the other example I want to clarify for everyone is this idea that censorship and control in China is the internet, is the websites. Okay. No, not at all. Okay. 24/7. It's a report I did, and I'm not currently selling it. Fernando, I want to spin it up and start selling it again for $2 or $5. I wrote up a 30-page report on the major websites of the world that are absolutely 100% not in any way, shape, or form banned or blocked or censored at all in China. Now, that would include MSNBC, CNN, ABC, MSN, Chicago Tribune, LA Times, Washington Examiner, Washington Times, Variety, Hollywood Reporter, Rolling Stone, Salon, Cosmopolitan, Christianity.com, Catholic.com, and another additional 60 on top of the 15 that I just rattled off. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if all of those websites are 100% accessible in China 24/7, and the Chinese government knows that they're accessible 24/7 and isn't blocking them, then obviously the Chinese government isn't making any effort at all to oppress and thought control the minds of its citizens. Ta-da!
mm.
You understand what I'm saying? These are the realities, ladies and gentlemen. Fernando and I are grateful for the opportunity to share these with you, and we are very glad to know that people like Tucker Carlson are coming around. He opened Pandora's box, and we're here to encourage him to continue being clear, speaking truth with awareness and intelligence about China. That's what it's all about. And thanks for being with us this evening. Fernando, back to you.
I just want to finish with one simple idea. I don't want you to leave this video thinking that we are saying that Chinese people are innocent. No, they're not uh, any different from Western people when it comes to
People
their
are people.
sexuality, their orientation. They're people. What they are is reserved. What they are is not public. They don't do things out there in public. They do things behind closed doors because there is a certain respect for a society. So when you see things out there, they people doing, think about public displays of affection. They are not the most common thing here in China because people are a lot more reserved, a lot more private. Do you think they don't do public displays of affection in the privacy of their homes? Of course they do. How do you think they got to 1.4 billion people? But okay, here's the thing that I want to finish this idea. I just want to let you know what I'm going to be doing next month. I'm going to be in Inner Mongolia, so make sure to
Nice.
follow my channel and my other channel, Are We There Yet channel, which is the travel channel, for some more insights into the things that I'm finding out and the things that I see in my travels. And Mario, any last thoughts and a short goodbye? We said that we were going to do 20 minutes. We're at 40.
Yeah. Well, no, no, I think it's been a great show because I think we've hit on a lot of incredibly important points. And meanwhile, Mr. Ma's China Adventure is sharing with you. We're discovering and sharing the best of China and all great things that are happening. That's it. That's all I've got to say. Thanks, everybody.
hmm All right, guys, that's all for today. Thank you so much. And remember, if you like this videos and this series, make sure to subscribe to our channels, hit the like button, share, leave a comment. And well, if you want to support us, there's the super thank yous that you can use. And well, until we see you again, take it easy and bye for now.